Back in 1996, Porsche was not the profitable market-dominating performance car brand they are in 2021. I would say no car brand is hotter than Porsche is today, to be honest. But back then, before the everyday Cayenne SUV and Panamera type vehicles, sales were sluggish for the 911 and especially the 944 and 928 models. Thus, Porsche created the Boxster as an affordable everyman sports car. It has all the DNA of a great sports car. It's light, mid-engine, convertible, and has a manual transmission. But today, with this third generation 981 2015 Porsche Boxster Spyder, it's grown into arguably the best sports car ever made. We absolutely love the performance, the looks, and frankly the overall fun factor. Dollar for dollar, it may be the best value in sports cars, even though it's near $100,000. Unfortunately, this car already sold before this review even dropped, with 5 interested parties. Going to show you just how desirable this modern GT line of Porsche vehicles are. This is our review of one of the hottest spec Porsches ever made. We hope you enjoy.
Look how I'm shining, cold turn into diamonds. I need a moment of silence. This is our moment, always on the grind till the sun come on us. They can never control us, running for the prize, raise high for the toast. This is our moment. This is our moment. This is our moment. This is our moment. Gladiator in this auto war. What you think that I've been fighting for? Got a cape on like a superhero. They rushing at me like a matador. Nah, I don't need your energy. I don't need the negativity. I'm just trying to bring my people up. Promise y'all I got the remedy. Straight to the roof, tell them we bringing the troops. We got a little surprise, you thinking that we ain't the truth.
Hey everyone, my name's Adam and welcome to Driven Nashville. We have an incredibly beautiful day here in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is about an hour away from Nashville. And today we are going to be talking about this incredibly rare and very cool, very fun mid-engine 2015 Boxster, which is of course by Porsche. And I gotta say, this is called the Porsche Boxster Spyder. The Spyder is very rare. They did not make many of them. This is the top spec car. This is pretty much the one you want. It's in Carrera White. It's got the 6-speed. It's got the red and black two-tone interior. It's got the 3.8 liter flat 6 putting out 375 horsepower. Today we're going to go through the entire car front to back. We're going to go ahead and do the driving portion of it. I'm going to show you how it drives, really, so you can hear it and experience the car. I have fallen in love with it already. It sounds incredible. The fun factor for about $100,000, which this vehicle is for sale, and I significantly, well, let's just say this, I highly encourage you, click in the first link and buy this car if you can afford it. It's around $100,000 because it's only going to be here for a couple of days more. This car is very rare, very desirable, this color combination. It's only got 7,000 miles on it, so yes, the lucky owner who gets to actually keep and drive this car, you're gonna love it, I'm telling you. But I hope you guys like the video. Please like and subscribe. I think this is gonna be a fun one. 75 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. We do apologize for any wind noise. We are shooting this outside. It is a gorgeous day. And yeah, on to the next clip. Now this is the 981 version of the vehicle, so the new Porsche has this whole new styling here, but I gotta say, for a 2015, it's a gorgeous looking rear end. I love the diffuser. Now the one note about this particular car, and you're gonna hear it on the driving portion, is this does have an upgraded exhaust. So when you click the link in the description in one of the comments, go ahead and research that exhaust. It's not factory stock. The factory exhaust on this car, when you hit the Sport and Sport Plus button, it opens up the baffles. It sounds amazing. This really sounds good. You're not gonna, it's not ostentatiously loud, I promise. Now, one of the things that's really interesting about the Spyder here is the fact that this whole rear actually pulls back, okay? And then there is not a mechanical roof. It is a manual roof. So some people might not like that factor of the vehicle. I do think it's actually kind of cool, and for the main point of view that you don't have to worry about it breaking, because it's all done with your 2 hands, essentially. You want to pull this, the whole thing pulls forward, then there is a bolt right here, like you just basically snap it in on both sides. But before I show you how to get the roof down, I wanted to tell you you've got some decent headroom here. I'm 6 feet tall, so I'm not gonna hit my head. I've got about another 2, maybe 3 inches above me here. So the car, even with the roof up, isn't that small. It's actually a pretty darn good sized car. Now, in order to get the roof off, you wanna put your foot on the brake and you wanna hold this little button right here. This is gonna release this latch, which comes down. Now, this allows you essentially to manually, it is manual, pull the roof back yourself. Now, before you do that, you wanna go ahead and release these clips. Now, there is a button in the top of these clips, and it's not an obvious button. It's kind of annoying to find. So you have to find that button, and when you push it, it will release this clip. And the other thing is, if you're reinstalling it, it's a little frustrating. You have to go a little bit back and forth. You actually have to push down and then up, and that'll latch it. If you don't push it down and then kind of forward, it won't latch. So these are 235 and then 265 size tires. So, you know, the tire profile is not that fat, which is nice when you go to buy new tires. This does have Pirelli P0 tires. I would actually nick that. That is the first thing that I would upgrade. It only has 7,000 miles, so these are most likely the original tires. I'd go ahead and melt these tires down, and I'd put some nice Michelin Pilot 4S tires on them, like I just did with the Aston Martin in my last video. But you can see here, this does have the steel brakes, but they are slotted and drilled. And I gotta say, I don't think you can get PCCB, which is the $9,000 ceramic brakes that you can get on the 911 series. But I'm telling you, with this car weighing under 3,000 pounds, you really don't need the braking power because it stops on a dime, and I'll show you that in the driving portion. Now, my favorite feature about this specific Porsche Boxster is definitely going to be the interior and just the overall interior with the exterior. This is Garnet Red. Okay, notice Porsche is on their game for interior quality. They really are. They're up there with the best from Audi and the rest of them. You've got an Alcantara. You've got the ability to change this to carbon fiber. You can also make this Carrera White body match. They went with silver here, and then you have the leather Garnet. Now, my favorite feature of the car is the fact that you don't have the carbon bucket seats. The carbon buckets are very desirable and they're very expensive, but here's the problem. If you're a large guy like me, you will find them excruciatingly uncomfortable, and in some cases you'll find it very challenging to get out of the car. Getting into the car is not so bad, but getting out, because they're so high here and you sit so low, that it's very challenging. I was finding myself running into the top of the head on the last Cayman I reviewed. So just keep in mind, if you get it, I would highly encourage you to order yours with the 18-way adjustable bucket seats. They're very comfortable, they look great, they're still extremely sporty. So really, I don't think there's a downside to them, even though the carbon buckets are very cool. All right, I want to give you just a few thoughts about the interior of this specific car. So you'll notice a few things right off the bat. It's got the Sport Crono package here. It's got the 6-speed manual. It's got the Alcantara steering wheel and the Alcantara wrap shift knob. I would probably option that in leather, because even though this only has 7,000 miles, it shows virtually no wear. When you get up to 28,000 and more miles, you are going to start to have wear marks just from your hands. I don't care if you're wearing gloves or not. That's just a part of Alcantara. So the leather won't do that as bad. So just be mindful of that, but it does feel so good in your hands right now. Doesn't have any buttons on the steering wheel, so you have no ability to adjust your sound. Everything is going to be here with your center console. This does have the upgraded Bose sound system. Now you can see here in your middle console, you have your AC dual climate control, and you also have your Sport Plus, traction control, and exhaust button. These two buttons control the roof. And another note is you want to go ahead and option yours with the smoking package. That way you do get this nice design language. You get a cover. If you don't, you're just going to have an open piece here. Now, one other fun feature, this has the white key. So this is the same color key. You can get your keys optioned in the same exterior color, this being Carrera White. And it is also fun that it does have the shape of a Porsche. So when you want to start the car, it's very simple. Unlike the Lotus, it does not have an immobilizer button. You go ahead and put your foot on the clutch. Now, one thing you always want to do, most likely, go ahead and put it in Sport Plus. And I don't know about you guys, but there's not many cars that are going to sound better than that flat six. And I got to say, as we head into more of an electrified world, you want to talk about a collectible car? Yeah, I think this is going to be about as good as it gets. We are now going to take this amazing Porsche Boxster for a drive. I've got it in Sport Plus mode. Now, if you do want to just baby the car along, I got to say, if you keep it in regular mode, it's pretty quiet, very level, very easy to drive, okay? But if you want to go in this car, one thing I've noticed about Porsches since my experience of driving now 3 or 4 of them is you don't want to necessarily baby the clutch. They like good fuel and good engagement, and then they're good to go. So as you can see, there are very few cars that are going to make 375 horsepower feel more than this car. Because it's so light, because it's so balanced, I gotta say, it is one of the most pleasurable driving experiences you're gonna get. Overall, I gotta say, for only having 375 horsepower, I mean, this car is so on point. You are not gonna, let's put it this way, you're gonna love the driving experience. I can't think of too many vehicles that are gonna give you more driving enjoyment, more pleasure than a Porsche Boxster Spyder. I really do, and I can't even imagine the new ones, the new Caymans that have 414 horsepower. This is plenty of power, absolutely plenty of power. If you put much more power in this chassis, you know, you're just gonna be going so fast that your car's gonna get impounded and you're gonna go to jail. I mean, that's really the bottom line. You can actually have a good time and have fun with this car. Now that we have some traffic here, I'm going to go ahead and put the car in sport mode, and then I'm going to take it off sport mode and just put it in regular. So let's say you're buttering along here. I'm doing 2,000 RPMs. I'm doing 40 miles an hour. I'm in 4th gear, and I'm just having a good time. You don't always have to be beating on the car to enjoy the vehicle. The clutch is fairly light. It's not that heavy. Although I got to say, it's not the easiest car to drive. It's going to require your full engagement. When you're ready to have some fun, put it back in sport mode. Go ahead and give it the revs. You're good to go. Wow. Guys, I gotta say, I mean, this is about as good as it gets. Oh my God, I mean, to really exploit this car, you're gonna have to take it to the track. Nothing quite like Porsches, you can just beat on them. So much fun. Most of your time in this vehicle between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gear. The entire drive, I have not gotten above 4th gear. So unless you're gonna be on the highway, there's just really no point. You know, even short shifting the car like that, it's a lot of fun. You don't necessarily have to always run it all the way, you know. It's easy to drive. Very, very easy to drive. I'm trying to say, the way this exhaust backfires, the way the steering feels, the way the brakes feel, the mid-engine, it's such a good car. I've had so much fun in this, specifically the GT4 and the actual Spyder version with the 3.8 liter. It's just, they've got this car so dialed in. It's so much fun. Sounds great, plenty of usable power. And if you think about collectability, I don't know many cars that are going to be as exclusive and as cool in 10 or 20 or 30 years in this particular car, especially in this spec. So go get it. If you're the lucky one, I heard there was 4 or 5 people that are looking at this car right now, so I'm thinking it's going to be gone in a few days anyway. But if this video hits and it hasn't sold and you happen to check it out and you got the money, I'm serious. Go buy it. You're not gonna regret it. This car is going to be phenomenal. Your wife and you are going to enjoy the heck out of it, and it's also probably going to go up in value too. So from that point of view, it's just a good story.